It's the headphones. They're doing like this weird cropping thing. All right.
um, Good afternoon, everyone. We're actually going to get started. So this is the afternoon section of our SOAR workshops that we had conducted earlier in the afternoon. So just a couple of reminders. Please remember, if you haven't had your academic advisement appointment for registration, please make sure that you keep mind, and that's a priority, so you can pop in and out of all the workshops scheduled. Your priority is to get advised and registered for classes. Our first workshop is actually the MyRUN 101 workshop, which probably is one of the most crucial, important information-filled workshops. So you're going to get a lot of information, a lot of valuable information. So please just be mindful and pay attention. We have one of our MyRUN counselors, Zainab, and as well as Nicholas from the Office of Financial Aid. So please just feel free to just pay attention. And then also there'll be some time at the end, hopefully. If not, just post your questions in the chat and we'll get to it as the presentation goes. There's also a couple other peer connectors in the room that are also helping with questions if you guys want. So feel free to reach out to them. Without further ado, Zainab.
Thank you. All right. So I just wanted to, first of all, I'm looking at the chat and okay, Nelson, I see you flexing on all of us. And hopefully other intros will come through. I haven't met the peer connectors yet. But anyways, getting to our information build session. My name is Zainab Saeed. I am one of 3 MyRUN counselors, and joining me is Mr. Nicholas Ramjatan from the Office of Financial Aid. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Let's go. All right. Can everyone see my screen? Yes? Are we good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So welcoming you all to the bajillionth time to Rutgers University, Newark. We are so happy to be talking to you guys today. We hate that it's not in person, but this is, again, the best that we can do with the circumstances. So what is MyRUN? If you ever hear MyRUN or MyRUN One Stop, they're essentially the same thing. And the MyRUN One Stop offers cross-functional services between 3 offices. And the offices are financial aid, the registrar, and student accounting, billing, and cashier. So part of the MyRUN One Stop, we have a few resources. We have the MyRUN website, and we also have the MyRUN Contact Center. We'll go ahead and start with the MyRUN Contact Center. So there's multiple ways where you can contact our office. You can call us, and consider this basically the university, Rutgers Newark call center. If you have any questions, even if your parents or guardians have any questions, even outsiders, when they Google Rutgers Newark, this is the number that pops up. So please feel free to give us a call. Pre-COVID, we were open Monday through Friday, taking live calls from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. But now with COVID restrictions, we are only taking live calls during Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. All the other days and even over weekends, our voicemails, you will only be able to leave a voicemail, which gets sent to us via email, and then we answer them either back with an email, because sometimes we need to escalate it to other people, or we give you a straight callback if the matter needs a callback. The other option is texting option. So let's be honest, some of us really don't want to physically or have any type of like virtual face-to-face interaction with another human being. Sometimes you just want to text a very quick question. So you can feel free to jot that number down and save it. I actually urge you to save both numbers, the call center and the MyRUN texting number. And just so you know, all live calls and texts and chats that what I'm about to mention are monitored and answered by our student workers. We have a little over 24 Federal Work Study student workers whom we've hired and trained to answer the very basic general questions that come in. And please note that there's always a MyRUN counselor on site to assist with any possible escalations. So again, this is our phone number, our texting number. When you are on the MyRUN website, which is myrun.newark.rutgers.edu, we'll go over that in just a bit. You'll be able to web chat with our student reps also during the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. And you may not see our emails as much online, and that is because we've switched to web forms. So if you do want to contact our offices, please bookmark this link right here. So sorry. It is go.rutgers.edu/contact MyRUN. copy the entire link, including the HTTPS, because sometimes if you just start with the go, it won't pop up. It'll say that the link does not exist. So make sure to type in the entire link or just copy paste the whole one once this is posted online. All right, so this acts the closest as an email because once you do fill out this Qualtrics form, it's going to be escalated to our email addresses. All right, the next resource that falls under the MyRUN One Stop is the MyRUN website. So you guys can minimize Zoom and type in this the link to the MyRUN website, or you can just take out your phones and type in the link. It's myrun.newark.rutgers.edu. Now this is the go-to website for any type of information because consider this like your first stop. Even before you physically visit us once we are open again, before you even make a call, before you even talk to anyone, if you want to try to problem solve and figure a solution to your question before you even speak to anyone, go onto the MyRUN website first because you're highly likely to find the information that you need before it's even escalated. But please don't let this discourage you from actually reaching out to us. You have all the means, resources right here. So please choose any of these means and get in contact with us if you are still confused or have any questions. So if once you are on the MyRUN website, you'll see I highlighted two major parts here, which are the announcements and the important dates. Please take note that these announcements and important dates are constantly being updated. Once we have an important message coming from either the Chancellor's office, the Rutgers President office, even from Newark Mayor regarding Newark closures and things like that, all of those items are going to be on MyRUN. If our offices for any reason are closed or having delayed openings or campus is closed, classes have been canceled, anything of that nature will be listed on the MyRUN website. So if you have questions or if you want any updates like that, just give us some time to make the posts, and they're usually posted same day, sometimes same hour once we hear back from the appropriate offices. And if you scroll further down the website, you're going to see these 4 boxes. You're going to see My Money, My Grades and Records, My Degree and Classes, and My Rutgers Newark. We worked with people from the Office of Information Technology who helped build this website and student workers and staff members to figure out how we are going to organize this website to better serve our students. So anything, we're going to use My Money as an example, anything related to money. It could be health insurance, it could be financial aid, it could be paying your bill is going to be under the My Money section. So please, once you have time after this, look through the MyRUN website and just see the resources that are available to you. Even if you don't need them, just know that they exist, and knowing them is enough because sometimes you may need them in the future or a friend or a colleague may need them as well. And if you scroll even further down that website, I know this website is huge and has a lot of information, you'll be able to see all these smaller kind of niche, more specific information that's related to certain community members. So most students here should be transfer students. So once you scroll down, I would click on I want to transfer to Rutgers Newark, and then you'd be able to see a bunch of information as it relates to you being a transfer student, all the way from apply to be a transfer student up until what's happening now and even post-SOAR. All right, and if you're an international student, a veteran, undocumented student, campus commuter information is also here. And once you are taking summer and or winter classes, also click that button right there. All right, your enrollment dashboard. So very often you might hear either your advisor or maybe someone from one of the MyRUN One Stop offices tell you, hey, go onto your portal or go onto your dashboard. If you hear someone tell you go onto your dashboard, just know that your enrollment dashboard lives in the MyRutgers portal. So you would have to go to my.rutgers.edu to access the MyRutgers portal, in which you'll be taken to this main page. And on this page, you'll see a bunch of tabs here. You'll probably see a bit more. Click on the My Dashboard tab. These are called tabs. And then you'll be able to see all of these little widgets. So these little squares, those are what we call widgets. Just in case you hear that terminology, now hopefully you'll be more familiar with it. So click on My Dashboard, and then you'll be able to see your personal info. You forgot your RUID number. Oop, it's right here. Net ID, number, your email, and you can change that information also here. You can see your classes. Please note that because this is your first semester, you may not see information automatically populated, but by the following semester, so by fall or summer, you should be able to see your previous and current semesters populated here. You can also go to My Money. my grades, my financial aid. Let's say you don't know how to log into your term bill. You're like, oh, what's the link? You don't know the direct link. Just go onto your dashboard and then click on online term bill and you can access your term bill there. Oh, I just got an email from financial aid telling me I have a missing document. Well, go onto your dashboard and you can go into your award letter and you can also view your missing documents for financial aid. All right, I know that was a mouthful. That's a lot of information. There's way more to go. So just a resting checkpoint, I guess. I guess blinking is the resting in this case. All right, and just know that this is mobile and tablet friendly, and you can access the dashboard. Let's say you forget my.rutgers.edu. You're like, oh, what's the link to the portal? You can always slap it into Google and you'll get the answer. Or if you have the MyRUN website, which hopefully you've all already bookmarked, on the top red bar, you should see enrollment dashboard. It'll take you right to it after you sign in with your NetID and password. It'll take you right to this tab. All right, some great news, the Spring 2021 iPad program. So if you haven't heard, new incoming first year and transfer students who are Spring 2021 admits are eligible to receive an iPad free of charge. However, we're going to go over the eligibility and requirements and other items right now. So only undergraduate students are eligible for this. Graduate students are not eligible. In addition to undergraduates only, there's a note there. If you are in the school, if you're a School of Nursing students, you are unfortunately not eligible for the iPad program. So School of Arts and Sciences, School of Criminal Justice, SPA, Rutgers Business School, all those undergraduate schools are, you are able to get an iPad, part of the Spring 2021 iPad program. However, you also must be registered for Spring 2021 courses, and you have to stay enrolled through the add drop period. Sorry, one. Yeah. Sorry about that. All right, so you must be registered for Spring 2021 courses and you have to stay enrolled through add drop period, which is the second to last slide on this presentation. You also must have a US-based mailing address. So if it's outside the US, unfortunately, we will not be able to ship an iPad to you. It has to be a US-based mailing address. And another caveat to this, well, not really caveat, it's part of the process, it's claiming your iPad. You actually have to physically claim your iPad in order for it to be received. You being a new incoming transfer student or first year student, you're a non-nursing student and you're registered, is not enough for you to get the iPad. You have to physically claim it on your enrollment dashboard, and we'll go over those steps in the next slide. And these are the iPad shipment dates. So the first mail out date is Thursday, January 11, and the second mail out date is Friday, January 29. And we ask that you please allow 7 to 10 business days after those dates to receive your iPad, but please make sure that you actually have your iPad claimed. Because just because you're in this SOAR session, December 11, does not mean that you are guaranteed to receive it on the 11th, because you have to have claimed it. So if you claim it after the 11th, you will not receive it. You'll not be part of the January 11 shipment date. You'll most likely be part of the January 29 shipment date. All right. Sorry, computer froze. All right, this is how to claim your iPad. So the first step is to, again, go to your MyRutgers portal. You're going to go to my.rutgers.edu, log in with your NetID and password, and then select that dashboard tab as I showed you before. And then you want to go to the widget that says My Enrollment Required, and then you want to click on Claim Your iPad. This is how you're going to claim it. Then you want to follow steps 5, 6, and 7. You want to fill out this form. Please note that if you didn't provide your phone number during your admission process, you would be able to add your phone number. It's right there. It's further down. And then you have to also select the disclaimer, which basically says that this information will be shared with SHI for shipping the iPad. So for shipping purposes, you have to click on that disclaimer and you must click submit. Please do not forget to click submit. We've had some students in the past not click submit and they thought that they claimed it. Just make sure the entire process is complete in order for you to get it. All right, FERPA. So FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. This is basically a federal law that provides confidentiality for your student records. So let's say, let's use Nick for an example. Nick is the son of, let's say, Jessica. Jessica's his mom. Jessica calls in and she wants information about Nick's term bill. If there is not a FERPA on file, which you provide your parent access to, then we will not be able to have an in-depth discussion about your student account, which includes your term bill, your financial aid, and even your grades. We have sometimes parents who want to check in on their students, be like, hey, how's my student doing? We will not be able to have that conversation until we see that FERPA on file. And information on how to get a FERPA signed is going again onto that dashboard, My Dashboard tab, and clicking on Authorized Access, and a step-by-step how-to guide. There's a PDF and a video for both you and the parent for how you give them access and how the parent would then go in to do what they have to do from their end. So there's those two tutorials up there in PDF and in video formats. Are you here? So in addition to you being an enrolled student at Rutgers University Newark, we ask all of our enrolled students, students who are registered for that semester, to confirm their attendance via what we call the Are You Here confirmation of attendance process. So it's called Are You Here? You'll be getting dozens of emails. If you do not complete the Are You Here pop-up, you will be getting emails from your advisors, from your dean's office, and even from MyRUN at one point, asking you to confirm your attendance. And attendance confirmation can be anything from, yes, I'm attending this semester, to no, I'm not attending this semester. And please also note that the Are You Here pop-up only takes place for now during the fall and spring semesters and during the winter session. So, students registered for summer session courses would need to confirm their attendance through the term bill process, and usually the summer and winter sessions office reaches out to their students to go over what they need to do for that. Just an FYI, the spring 2021 Are You Here pop-up will go live on Wednesday, January 13 for all undergraduate students. These dates vary for graduate students, but you're all undergrads here, and your pop-up date is January 13. Please note that there are two ways you can log into some of our systems. Most of our websites, you have to log in with your NetID and password if they're secured websites. But for accessing your award letter and for accessing your term bill, you have two options. You have NetID and password, or RUID number and your PAC code, which is basically your birth month and birthday. So those 4 digits. In order for you to be able to see the pop-up for Are You Here, you must log in with your NetID and password. So let's say it's Are You Here time, you know it's January 13, you're like, all right, let's go, let me complete this. Sign into any Rutgers authenticated website that asks for NetID and password. It could be your portal, it could be Blackboard, it could be Canvas, anything else that asks for NetID and password. After you sign in, this is the first pop-up that you will see. It's going to say you are registered for spring 2021. Please confirm your enrollment below. You're going to have either the yes, I'm attending option or no, I'm not attending. Please note that this is, if you're also a financial aid recipient, it is connected to you receiving your aid. So if you have all of your documents submitted, which Nick will talk about more, everything is done with your aid, but you don't see your aid crossed over to your term bill, one of the reasons could be that you have yet to confirm your attendance. Let us know that you are here so that everything else will then fall into place. So let's say the answer is yes, I am attending. You may or may not see the second pop-up, which is the financial responsibility statement. The financial responsibility statement, or the FRS, is basically you saying that, yes, I see a bill, I'm responsible for it, that's it. So the reason why I say is that you may not be able to see it is because FRS is automatically signed upon two things. You either registered online through WebReg, so webreg.rutgers.edu, or you made an online term bill payment. If you did either of those, you may be one of, actually, the majority of our students who may see this first pop-up and then get the thank you for completing the Are You Here process. So if you don't see this, don't be alarmed. But if you do see it, just hit agree, and then you'll get an email confirmation that you completed the Are You Here process. Now, let's say you hit no, I'm not attending. Let's say you did it by accident. Something happened, computer glitched, you hit no, I'm not attending. Don't worry yet, because you're going to get another pop-up that says, are you sure? If for any reason you accidentally hit yes, I'm sure after you accidentally hit no, I'm not attending, now's the time to be a bit alarmed, because within 24 hours, your courses, you will be deregistered from your courses. All right. This does not happen often because there is that second, are you sure? But just in case that happens or you're not sure, please send us a text. You can call us or fill out the web form and let us know that you have a question about that. Even if you want to know that you confirmed your attendance and that actually went through, we're able to assist with that. All right, and if you are someone who is like, you know, I registered, but I actually don't want to be in classes, this is your time to withdraw from your classes without going through an official withdrawal process. And just know that if between the Are You Here deadline, between when it goes live and the deadline, if you say, no, I'm not attending, you won't owe any part of your bill. It's as if you never registered for your classes. So if you're in that boat and you're not sure if you want to continue with your classes, but then you've spoken to your academic advisor, step one, and you've made that decision, go ahead and click no, I'm not attending. All right. So if you are unable to see the Are You Here pop-up, let's say it's the 13th and you're unable to see it, these are some our top reasons why you may not be able to see it. The first one is what I discussed. You logged in with your RUID number instead of your NetID. So make sure it's NetID and password login. The second one is that you need to disable the pop-up blocker. Some of us have our pop-up blockers enabled, which means that any pop-ups will not be able to pop up on our screen. So make sure that that is disabled. The third one is that you are not yet registered for classes. This is usually for maybe your second semester here. Once you're used to Are You Here, you start to expect the pop-up a week before classes start. However, remember that you have to be registered. So if you're not yet registered and Are You Here went live, you won't be able to see the pop-up until you're registered for classes. The fourth reason why you may not be able to see the pop-up is that it just hasn't gone live yet. Again, this is more so for students who are maybe not necessarily like reading when the Are You Here dates are live, or again, you're anxious, you're used to it. Okay, where is it? It just hasn't gone live yet. So just wait for it to go live. And you're almost always going to find the live dates and the deadlines and anything related on MyRUN. So please go to the MyRUN website and search what you need to search. These are some important dates around Are You Here? So Are You Here for undergraduate students goes live on January 13. The deadline to complete Are You Here is February 2nd. We give students a 2-day buffer. So by the 4th, if we still haven't heard anything, you will be deregistered by noon on Thursday, February 4th from your classes because we failed to hear from you. So this isn't just you answering a yes for Are You Here? Please, if you want to withdraw from your classes, hit that no so that you're not finding yourself later on owing any part of your bill. So just make sure you hit the no if you want to withdraw from all your classes and the yes if you are planning on attending. All right, so that is it for the first part. And now on to the second part because there's one more part. Please welcome my favorite, Mr. Nicholas Ramjatan from the Office of Financial Aid.
Thank you, Z. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I'm going to keep this as short and as simple as I can. I'm really happy that you all are joining Rutgers University in Newark. And if you haven't not yet done so, the FAFSA that you need to have on file for right now for this upcoming spring semester is the 2020-2020 FAFSA. If you've done it at a prior institution and you have yet to add the Rutgers school code, do that now. The Rutgers school code, you can find it yourself, or 002629, 002629, 002629, and you can Google search that too. So it's also on the FAFSA application. The next thing I want you to do, if you have already done this FAFSA and you currently have the Rutgers school code on there, do the new FAFSA. Because come next fall and next spring, you want to be able to use financial aid if you're planning on doing so. You will need to have the 2021-2022 FAFSA completed. So the first two things I asked you is to make sure you have a financial aid application on file for this year with Rutgers and one next year so we can fund you for next year also. So the other thing I want you to keep in mind is pending documentation. If there is any documentation that we need from the financial aid office and it's pending, none of your monies will pay out or credit to your student account. So I put this for a reason, and I'm stating this out there. If you want your monies to credit and be applied towards your bill that you're going to have, the only way to do that is to make sure that we do not need anything from the Rutgers Office of Financial Aid for your financial aid. Take a look at your offer letter. Once you can see one, most of you should be able to see them. We are manually funding transfer students or students for spring as we get their FAFSA information on file. I'll talk about changes. I'll talk about loan documents, enrollment requirements, and the rest of the stuff as we go through it. So Z, if you wouldn't mind, here we go. So the FAFSA application. So if you're filling out a FAFSA or if you've filled out a FAFSA for this current year at your prior institution, make sure the Rutgers school code that 002629 is on it so we can go ahead and fund you. Do the new FAFSA also. For any of my undocumented students who are trying to use aid at Rutgers University Newark, make sure that you fill out the alternative aid application with HISA, and we should be able to see that information also. Let's go on to the next slide. Pending documents. So I mentioned this before. if you have open documents with financial aid, none of your financial aid is going to pay or credit to your student account. So including proof of citizenship and all that sort of stuff. Actually, for proof, I see Pedro, for proof of citizenship, if you click on the document request, it'll tell you how to do it remotely, so you don't have to come in. So if you get it notarized, you don't need to come in. You can upload that notarized document. Very welcome. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. For anything that needs pertinent information, and Rutva, I see you. For anything that needs additional information from our office, if we're asking you for it, please get it into us as soon as you can, because without that stuff, your money won't credit and your bill is gonna still be there and it won't be addressed. So this is where you go, you log in, you take a look, we'll tell you what it is, we'll give you the instructions on what to do, follow the instructions, and then we should get in our system. Just to talk about our system for a minute, once that information comes into our system, a person will look at it, make sure it's correct, and then route it to where it's supposed to go so somebody else can process it in the order that it comes in to be processed. So we have real people with manual functions reviewing these digital documents that you're uploading. So please expect that it's going to take some time. The longer you take, the more it's going to take, because the more people are going to be providing things, and it's going to take longer to get through. So short story, if you have pending documents, if I were you, I would go ahead and get them in now so I don't have to worry about things being held up later on. You can go into the next slide. Also with HISA. So HISA begins out the largest form of free funding for New Jersey residents in the state of New Jersey. If HISA is ever asking you for anything, they may not be asking you for things right now because you may have provided it to them already for fall. But next year when you do your new FAFSA, if they're asking you for information, get it to them, because if you fail to provide that information to the state and that state needs that information to confirm your estimated funding with the state, they won't be able to give you that funding unless they can confirm or verify your funding. So I personally will not forfeit $5,000 or $10,000 or offered state aid. I suggest you don't either. If you have $5,000 or $10,000 that you want to give away, we will be running a campaign for donations to Rutgers University students real soon. So you let me know if you have it like that. We can talk about that too. Let's go on to the next slide. All right, so when you see your offer letter, this is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look like something like this. You'll log in, it'll give you a whole bunch of different options. You'll have different sections. I'm gonna go to the next section. Let's go, Z. Let's go into the next slide. You have the option how you choose to view this thing. So you can click on the little bubbles. It'll give you the options for awards only. It'll give you the option for cost, semester, term breakdown. However you want to view, whatever is most comfortable for you, you can go ahead and click and just see all the different views. Me personally, I care about free money and I care about the term breakdown, because I want to know how much free money am I getting for each semester so I can go ahead and cover the rest of my bill. A lot of transfer students, I'm assuming you might be thinking the same thing too, and I get that. So if you want to do that as your view, feel free to go ahead and do so, because it's really going to help kind of like let you see what it is you're only looking for. We can go into the next slide.
Nick, do you mind if I just add a quick note?
Yeah.
So we get a lot of questions into MyRUN where students, they're looking at their award letter once they first log in, and now they're like, oh, are these charges? Just know that nothing on your award letter is a charge. Charges, official charges, any finalized charges is going to be seen on your term bill, which we'll discuss later. And the information that you see here is a per year breakdown, which is why we tell you here we have the steps on how you can view it, so it's easier for you to see what you're getting per term. So you want to click on that near view options, and you want to click on costs and awards, and then you want to click on that term breakdown, which we show here on this next slide. So awards only, term breakdown. You don't want to look at your costs, you just want to see what you've been awarded by the university. All right, so keep that in mind when you are looking at your award letter. If you see 16K, it's not a charge. And if you're seeing like 10,000 or 5,000 in loans, it's more likely going to be that cut in half, and you'll be able to see it in the term breakdown. Thank you, Nick.
No worries. So we can, thank you for that. This is important here. So there is going to be a good amount of students who are going to choose not to use loans. I bring this up for a specific reason. If you know that you're not using your loans, that is great. But you need to let us know that you're not using your loans also. And the way to do that is to go ahead and decline your loans from the change options on your offer letter. The reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is because if you decide in your head you're going to decline, you're not going to use your loans, that's great. But on our side, we need to cancel your loan so we can remove the request for those loan documents so the rest of your free monies can pay. You follow me? So if we don't know that you're not using your loans, we will leave those documents out there as requested documents, and we're going to be expecting you to complete those documents before your aid pays. So if you're not using your loans, please decline them from your offer letter so we can go ahead and remove the request for those loan documents. If you're going to be using your loans, this is exactly what you want to do. You'll see the request for pending documents, and in there, it'll give you instructions on how to go ahead and complete your entrance counseling and master promissory note, so you can just follow those steps. Complete the entrance counseling, complete the master promissory note, and then your funds will be able to credit out. If you're reducing your loans, the same place you can go and reduce or decline your loans off your offer letter is there. So if you want to make any changes to your loans, your original status that you chose for housing or anything else, you can do that from your offer letter, including declining your loans. We can move on
Nick,
to the next. Yeah.
did you want to go over a work study or not?
We can talk about it real quick. So federal work study, the majority of you will not have any offered for work study for spring. The reality of it is because of the pandemic, we have a lot less departments that are asking for students. Some departments are asking for no students. So we just don't have a lot of places to put students. So for spring, a lot of our incoming spring students won't have work study because you just don't have a place to put you. Departments aren't asking for more students, they're asking for what they have, or sometimes even less students. But for the upcoming fall semester and spring semester, if you are offered work study and you complete your job application and we're able to place you, you'll see something like this from the link on your financial aid offer letter, giving you details about your financial aid work study offer. So I just want to make sure you're familiar with it in case you see it. Enrollment. So enrollment impacts your aid eligibility. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because if you assume that your balance was going to be something because of your original offer and you decided to reduce the number of credits from full-time down to something else, know that your aid may be impacted. The Pell Grant is prorated based on the number of credits that you're enrolled for. So if you're enrolled for 12 credits or up, that's good because that's full-time. That's going to be the maximum amount of money from the Pell Grant. Anything less than that is going to reduce that amount of money that you're eligible for from the Pell Grant. The New Jersey tag, if you're not full-time, you're probably not going to get tagged. So if you are changing your enrollment from full-time, let us know by completing a data change or the information, update your information off your offer letter so we can go ahead and correctly adjust your aid to match your enrollment. We can move on. Okay, so satisfactory academic progress. I like talking about this for one reason. Nobody here in this room right now is aspiring for a 1.5 GPA, period. Nobody. I got somebody working on being a neuroscientist. Nobody in here is trying to get a 1.5. But I want to make sure you're aware of what could happen if you fail to meet the requirements that you have set forth as a student in regards to academic completion, pace, and your GPA. So you see the chart here, it talks about credits completed, it talks about pace towards graduation or percentage of cumulative attempted credits, and it talks about GPA. If you drop below 2.0 and you've completed over 90 credits, you're going to put your eligibility for aid, financial aid, in jeopardy. So I'm just putting this out there. I know everybody's intention is to do as well as you can, but don't fall into the boat. Changing the family circumstances. We know there are things happening. We know there are things for some folks where their FAFSA may have said this, but now currently the situation is much different. For those things, you can go ahead and submit a change in family circumstances. And we can review if your aid may be adjusted based off of that change that's currently occurring. Z, what do I have after this? All right, let's go back real quick. So the three things I want to make, this is fine. The three things I need you to make sure that you're aware of is pending documents. Pending documents will hold up your monies from credited into your student account. You need to have a financial aid application on file so we can fund you. If you think that you submitted an application a long time ago and we should be able to have funded you and you should have been able to see an offer letter by this point, that web form information that Zaina provided to you before, send us one of those. So at financially, we can review your request and see, okay, if this student was supposed to be funded, why haven't they been funded? And can we go ahead and fund them now? So the gorutgers.edu contact MyRUN, that is a real thing. And it is really useful for us. If you have a specific question or concern, let us know so we can go ahead and help you address that. Like, where's my offer letter? I submitted my information, Rutgers should have it. I don't know what I will owe. Like, how do I find that out? So that will be where you start. Pending documents. We're going to talk about the term loan a little bit, and I want Zainab is going to do a great job walking you through that, and I'll jump in to add in some things. But as long as your documents are good, as long as you do what you need to do by the time you need to do it, you really won't have many problems. We probably won't ever talk to each other ever again from a financial aid perspective, besides exchanging how the program is going and how well you're happy to be at Rutgers University, New York. But in case you do need to let us know that you're having issues, let us know so we can best help you. And again, as long as you do what you need to do, you should be fine. So I'll go ahead and let Zainab continue on, and I'll jump back in a little bit.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
as always. All right, so now we're going to get into one of our other offices that's part of the MyRUN One Stop, and that is student accounting. You don't have to know the names of our offices necessarily, which office you're speaking to. Once you get in contact with MyRUN, you will be speaking to either a MyRUN student or a MyRUN counselor like myself, and then we will either answer your question or escalate it appropriately. So I don't want you guys ever worrying about, oh, should I speak to financial aid or should I speak to student accounting? It doesn't really matter. As long as you start the contact with MyRUN, we'll take care of you from there and escalate it appropriately to whichever office that it needs to go to. So part of student accounting, billing, and cashier services, there are 3 areas, and that is student accounting, who deal with term bills and managing your account. Each student here has their own student accounting representative. They go by Alpha. So depending on your last name, you are assigned a student accounting rep. We also have the cashiers, and they process payments. And we also have the RUID card service center. So any new cards, replacement cards, they go through RUID card, which is managed by the student accounting office. So we already went over financial responsibility statements. So just a quick reminder again, you'll able to see if your FRS was complete on your term bill. And 2 ways where your FRS gets automatically sent is upon course registration through WebReg and through online term bill payment. Now, very quick note about 2020-2021 tuition fees. Please note that the 2021 academic year, which is the current year, covered from fall 2020 up until summer of 2021, right? So it's going to go from fall into summer of the following year, which in our case is summer 2021. So the Board of Governors came together, and due to COVID-19 and the financial impact that it's had on almost everyone in this country and outside of it as well, they decided to freeze the tuition rates from 1920 and apply that same rate to 2021. Usually tuition goes up by 2 to 3%. They froze it, which means that they did not increase it at all. Whatever was charged 1920 was also the same cost for this current academic year. Please note that you can see this information online by going to this link. And also another note is that the following academic year, which is 21-22, the tuition fees rates have not been determined yet. The Rutgers Board of Governors usually meets around mid-July, and that is when you usually hear back and see all of our websites updated with the new tuition and fees rates. But for now, it's the same as it was for fall 2020 because we're still within that same academic year. All right, payment plans. So payment plans for winter 2021 and spring 2021 have currently been released, and you have your options here for spring semester. You have 5 payment option, 4 payment option, and 3 payment option. Please note that if you do want to enroll in the November 5th one, which is the 5 payment option, because the November due date has already passed, you will owe November and December, and that's if you sign up this month. If you miss November and December and you're signing up in January, you will owe those last 3 months plus the current month, the 2 months before plus the 1 month that you're currently in. Remember, think of those billing cycles. It happens the same billing day every month for when you sign in. And again, you can always reach out to us through the web form and reach out to a student accounting representative to see if you can speak one-on-one, and we'll talk more about one-on-one virtual sessions in a bit. So student health insurance. If you haven't been paying attention, I please ask that you pay very close attention now. So Rutgers University requires our full-time and all F&J Rutgers visa-sponsored students to either waive or enroll in the student health insurance plan every semester. If you already are covered under your own health insurance, we ask that you waive it. And you have to waive it every semester. And the same for enrolling. Just because you enrolled once for one semester does not mean that's automatically carries on into the next semester. You have to enroll again. And again, the same with waiving. So just so you know, student health insurance premium, so that premium rate for student health insurance is automatically billed to your term bill every semester. And again, you either have to waive or enroll every semester by the deadline, which is right here. We'll talk about that in a bit, at universityhealthplans.com. So you go to universityhealthplans.com 3 days after today, because I believe you guys already registered. If not, once you register, wait 3 business days after, and then you'll be able to complete the waiver or enrollment form. And same if you already did register, just wait 3 business days. You should be able to see it by Monday or Tuesday. Weekends don't count. We're talking business days. All right, so these were the rates and deadlines and coverage timeline for fall 2020. And this rate right here is what may affect you or not, depending on whether you waive and enroll. The deadline to waive and enroll for spring 2021 health insurance is February 3rd. So please, most of our undergraduate students are covered already by either their parents' health insurance or they have their own outside of the universities. If that is your case, please do not forget to waive, because the cost for spring is $1,305. And remember, this rate changes over the years. This rate also usually increases, and it's less than the fall cost because spring covers you from mid-January up until mid-August. So it goes from spring to summer, whereas fall only takes you from mid-August up until mid-January. So it's just covering you for the fall semester. And again, if you have questions about that, we ask that you go to this link. All that information is constantly updated. And to start the waiving and enrollment process, go to universityhealthplans.com. Again, you are going to see that charge on your bill. And once let's say you do waive, you have to wait. I would give it 3 to 5 business days. It could be less, but to be on the safe side, give it 3 to 5 business days in order for that cost to go from $1,305 to 0. So give it some time. All right, and now we go into accessing your term bill. So I showed you one way to access your term bill, which was through your dashboard. Go to your My Money, click on online term bill. And if you want the direct link, this is it. So you can bookmark it, save it. It's finservices.rutgers.edu/OTB. And then you want to log in with your NetID and password. Just a quick reminder, are you here? If you're signing in for Are You Here purposes, you want to sign in using your NetID, not your RUID login. But if it's just any other regular day, you can sign in either way. Once you sign in, you're going to be asked to choose a semester. Here you would select spring 2021 and then click continue. Sorry, does anyone have a question?
If you could call me back, that'd be great. 973-353-5515. Thank you.
All right, so you want to choose your semester, spring 2021, and then you are going to see your term bill. We are going to go into this into the breakdown of how to read this bill in one moment. But for community ID login, this is for basically, if you hear authorized user access or community ID login, it's the same thing. You're basically providing access to, let's say, your parent, your guardian, or someone else, maybe a sibling or a spouse, to be able to go and view your term bill and make payments. This is separate from FERPA. They can only view and make a payment. This does not replace having a FERPA on file. So they can view, they can make payment, they cannot call us and have an in-depth discussion about your account. So please make note of that difference. And if you want someone to have both, go ahead and provide them FERPA access and grant them also authorized user access as well. Now, once you log into your term bill, this is a very quick overview of what the bill is going to look like. You're going to see it this way, right? And we're going to show you a 6-part breakdown of your bill, and we're going to go one by one. So if you look at the first one, this is your student account status. This part shows you an overview of your account. And if you look here, you can see what type of information they have. They show if you have a balance due, when your term bill due date is, if you have any holds, there are credits that you're registered for, and you also see your financial responsibility statement acceptance status. So if you're not sure, like, oh, I didn't see the FRS pop up, I wonder if it already went through, you can log into your bill and take note of that. We also have here that it does include your basic information. You can't see here because we do have it covered, but usually you can also see your 9-digit RUID number. You can access it there. So here, if you look at outstanding balance, this is where I want you guys to focus in right here in the green part. So you're going to see under outstanding balance, you're going to see total charges, total payments, and total balance. So this shows you your total charges billed and any payments made. It could be a payment plan payment. It could be an out-of-pocket payment, financial aid, an outside scholarship, anything of that sort. That's what is going to be part of that total payment. A CR, you see that CR in total payment. So for this term bill, for this example, total payments is $10,222 with the CR next to it. A CR stands for credit. Now a CR in total payments represents any payment made, including financial aid. So those are all payments, like I said. It could be all those 4 options that I listed. They're just showing you the total. It doesn't matter what kind of payment. It's just these are the payments that were made, and this is where it's going to show. Now, if you see a CR in this black bar, which is total balance, before you freak out and are like, oh my God, I owe $2,000. I thought financial aid covers everything. If you see $1,879.80, this is just an example, and a CR next to it, what that means is that there's a possible refund that is due to you due to overpayment. Because if you look closely, before you panic, just look here. You're going to see that your total charges are $8,342. And then you're going to see total payments, $10,222. You overpaid, right? So then that difference is $1,879. So you're expected to get that back either via direct deposit or via a paper check, depending on what you signed up for. Now, if you look here, here's where you're going to have your charges, your computer fee, your campus fee, your tuition rate, and your student health insurance. All of that is going to be here. And notice how your student health is in red. I'm assuming this is to get your attention, and let's say you do waive it. What that cost was, it's going to be $305. It's going to change, $1305, excuse me. It's going to change from $1305 to 0 a few days after you waive it, business days. All right, so please take note of that. It's not automatic. I know Nick already said this. Changes don't happen instantly, unfortunately, but once you wait a few business days, that change will be made, and then your balance will be updated again. To the right, you'll be able to see payments and account credits. So here is where you'll be able to see, again, the financial aid that was credited, any payments that you made, whether out of pocket or through your payment plan, you'll be able to see that there. Now, the last part are these 2 sections right here. To the right, this isn't necessarily like a to-do item for you, but it's just an FYI. These are it's showing you your payment options. And then right here is where you can adjust your payment and continue to make payments with the available payment options, which is through here. If you click on that button, the only 2 ways you can pay are via credit card or via e-check. All right, I know that was a lot, but now we got to move quickly because I know I went over time. These are your, Nick, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, Z, can we go back real quick?
Oh, the offered aid. I
Yeah.
totally forgot.
So I want you all to understand how Rutgers student accounting term bill works, because unless you do, sometimes you may have a heart attack because your eyes may tell you something different from what your brain is thinking. So you see the little CRs down there on the right-hand side, those little CRs on the right-hand side of the payments and account credits dollars. That means the monies have been credited to your account. Before this happens, at the very beginning, before the semester starts, that's going to say offered, which means that you're expecting that money to be part of your financial aid and applied to your student account or credit to your student account. The reason why I'm saying that is because this is what student accounting does with their term bill. So they're going to say offered, and then all that offered money is going to disappear because they're expecting it now to start crediting. So you'll see offered, you do what you need to do with your documents, everything is all set, you do the are you here's and everything, all that good stuff. Around that same time, after that, it's going to start to credit. You'll see the CR, meaning the money's paid out. Don't have a heart attack if today you log in and you see offered, and tomorrow you go in and you see nothing because it hasn't credited. That's just what's going to happen. But once it does credit, you'll see the CR for those individual amounts being applied to your term bill. So that's another reason why those pending documents, if you have them, do that, because until you take care of those things, the monies won't ever credit back. They'll show as offered and then they'll disappear, but nothing else will happen after that. So I know I've told you the same thing probably about 5 times, but it's because I really care about what's going to happen with you and your student experience. And I don't want you to worry about the money part. I want you to be able to go ahead and do what you need to do on the academic side and focus on everything you need to do as a college student. And, you know, as long as you do what you need to do with this part, you'll be fine. So just as a heads up.
While we're on this note, thank you, Nick. I do also want to re-emphasize HESA. If you're in your award letter and you see that estimated NJ tag, please make sure you are logging into NJ FAMS and you are completing anything that HESA is asking you for. If they're asking for documents, you need to submit that, and please be timely, because there's no nice way to put this, but HESA's very ruthless with their deadlines. Like, you miss a deadline, you miss a deadline. It is very hard often to reverse that. But Nick, if you want to
Yeah, I
talk
mean,
about that more.
they usually don't tell you today that it's due tomorrow. I've had students where they've been asking for things for 8 months and the student didn't do something. And
Yeah.
then I had to have a conversation with the student, and the student had to explain to the parent why now they have to come up with $5,000 because the $5,000 they were getting from HISA disappeared
Yeah.
because they didn't submit a piece of paper. I don't want anybody to be in that boat, especially look, college funding for me was real. That $5,000 was life changing. So I know for a lot of you in this room right now, it is also. So just make sure you do your due diligence. And if the state is asking you to do something for money, go ahead and make sure you address that part of it. Or Rutgers is asking you to do something for your money, go ahead and
Yeah.
make sure you take action.
And also remember that when you're filling out NJ FAMs, initially, you're probably not putting in your Rutgers email address. You're using a Gmail, you're using a Yahoo. So make sure that you are looking at your personal email addresses for HISA purposes or wherever else you're kind of putting in your personal email address in addition to the Rutgers email, because we are communicating with you through your Scarlet Mail account. So we ask that you please pay attention to your emails, and please also take note of when HISA is also reaching out to you, because we don't know what email you used. You would know.
Z, I know we're running tight on
Yeah.
time, and I know you have like at least one more thing to talk about. Just real quick with payments, are students able to make payments right now for spring yet?
I believe it opened today. Term bills are
Okay,
actually available today, December 11th.
11th, right,
Yeah.
right. So you should be able to start making those options, folks. So um, that should be happening today. So if you can't see it today, maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow. But if you're
I
looking
would
to
say
make
latest
payments to
wait
your
till Monday.
accounts,
Yeah.
yeah. So I see Frank Emmanuel had asked about it, and to me, but I know for a lot of different folks in the room, you might be thinking the same thing too. So look for that. So you may not be able to do it right now, but you should be able to do it soon.
Well, we're almost there. So now refunds. So we did I spoke a lot about refunds, and this basically is letting you know that if you've exceeded either out-of-pocket payments, financial aid, whatever, you overpaid, you are either going to get that refund in through direct deposit, so it goes straight to your bank account, or via paper check with the address that we have on file. We do recommend that you use direct deposit because it is safer and it is far quicker. With COVID delays and whatnot, what it was 7 to 10 business days may turn into 2 to 3 weeks, may even turn into 4 to 5 weeks. We have students sometimes who wait over a month to get their physical check. So please, if you do have a chance, fill out your direct deposit as soon as possible. Even if you're not expecting a refund, just have that ready just in case you ever need it. A quick note about Parent Plus loans. This note is actually for your parents who are taking out a Parent Plus. All Parent Plus loans, all Parent Plus loan credit balances that are refunded to the parent borrower will be mailed by paper check to the parent's address listed on the Plus loan application. So if we have a parent who says, no, but Nick had signed up for direct deposit and he has my bank account, Rutgers assumes that since direct deposit is available to students and not parents, they're going to assume that that bank account is for the student, which is why the parent will be sent a physical check through their mailing address that they had on file in the loan application. So please make note of that. Parents will not be able to get their refunds back as direct deposit. It's only via paper check. Barnes & Noble Book Fund. So if you're a financial aid recipient with expected refund of over $500, you can expect to get a book fund for $500. You are automatically opt into that, and you can opt out of it. The sooner you opt out, the better, because then the crediting happens way before refunds are dispersed. So just opt out if you don't want that, and you'll be good to go. Please also note that Barnes & Noble will price match through Amazon, bnn.com, and local competition. So if you want to reach out to the bookstore to see if they can price match, they'll be able to assist with that. And same for RUID card. We're currently not open to visitors. However, you are able to fill out that web form that we shared with you and fill out any questions that you have about the ID card. And I'm sure Nikita and the rest of the SOAR team will update you on ID cards for SOAR students. All right, Navigate app. So the Navigate app is basically another resource for you that is used mainly to connect you to your academic advisors, in addition to being able to see other resources at Rutgers University Newark. We do urge you to please download this app because it's very beneficial to you, and don't delete it, because you'll be able to reach out to your academic advisor via that app. And what easier way to have than to have your academic advisor right in your pocket. All right, if you are unable to sign up and navigate today, it's probably because you either have not registered or the system needs a moment to kind of like reboot and get your information. So please make sure you are, if it doesn't work today, try again tomorrow and it should work. And if not, we do have the student success team email at the bottom of this slide and every other slide. And here we have a step-by-step on how to download the Navigate app. Now, this is just very quick info. You guys already are familiar with your NetID. It's a combination between your initials and a few other digits. Please do not give out your NetID and password. If you want to give a parent access to your financial aid or your bill, please go through the proper channel, fill out that FERPA form. Do not give anyone access to your NetID and password. Do not give out your social security number. And please make sure to not include your social security number in any of your email communications, no matter, how secure a web may be or an email may be. Please do not include that personal info online to anyone, whether with us or with the friends or family members. Your RUID number is a 9-digit number. Please make sure in your communications with us that if you want to leave a voicemail, you're calling, you want to text or anything like that, please make sure you're including your RUID number in those communications so that we can identify you as a student. And Scarlet Mail, if you're having issues with Scarlet Mail, we have the help desk. They're wonderful. They're ready to help. But these are very quick links on how to set up your Scarlet Mail and how to forward your Rutgers email to another email address. Like when I was a student, I had my Rutgers email address forwarded to my Gmail, and it's still that way to this day. So it's easier for you to see it on both platforms if you wanted to. So if you have any questions for MyRUN, I know we are closed for in-person visits, mostly closed in person. So we did open up our one-stop virtual counter hours. Our hours and links on how to sign up for the days and hours are located on the MyRUN website. Even when you go on the front page and you see virtual, you're going to click on that link and it'll take you right to this link here, but this is the direct link to go there. So it's myrun.newark.rutgers.edu/COVID office hours, and you'll be able to speak to a MyRUN counselor, and in breakout sessions we'll escalate you if need be to a financial aid representative or someone from student accounting and the registrar. So you're always going to have that point of contact with someone. All right, and these are some important dates for you. Term bill due dates, there's 2 term bill due dates. There's January 13 and also January 27. We included the RU here, they're all in red, go live dates and deadlines and when you'll be deregistered, just as an FYI. Please note that the Rutgers priority deadline for FAFSA is January 15. We also have when add drop begins and when is the last day to add and drop your courses. For this year, they're on the same day, which is January 27. And if any of that changes, you will be getting an email from either the registrar's office or from MyRUN.
Z, I know we're at time. Can I add something real quick?
Absolutely.
After you're done?
Yes.
After you're done? Okay.
So no, just follow us on social media. We have an Insta account, Twitter, and our MyRUN website. You can reach out to us there. If you want to DM or text, actually, DMing and texting, please do not include your RUID number. Just keep it super simple. And if we do need to reach out to you, we'll reach out to you either via email or we'll give you a call. That's it. Nick, you can.
So let me put my video back on. So my transfer students, I want to talk about something real quick. Whoever's receiving Run to the Top, I need you to pay attention to this part. So you finished up your associate's degree, you're trying to wrap up your bachelor's degree in 2 more years, right? Run to the Top, my transfer students will cover you for up to 4 more semesters. The reason why I say that is because if you're taking 6 credits, you will not finish up in 4 more semesters. So plan out the next 2 years of your academic career at Rutgers Newark as well as you can to take advantage of Run to the Top if you're planning on trying to use that as much as you can. So if you're taking 12 to 20 credits, great. Run to the Top will cover you for 12 to 20 credits. If you're taking 6 credits, great. Run to the Top will only cover you for 6 credits, but know that after these next 4 semesters are up, there's no more Run to the Top, but you may still have more credits to complete. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you want to try to wrap this up and you're using Run to the Top, be smart about how you register for the next 4 semesters. Utilize your enrollment and that fund as well as you can. Because if you can finish it up with this much cost, I'll leave that up to you. But please try that. Thank you.
We're done. That was a lot. That was a lot of information. So thank you all for surviving, I guess, this long. And again, welcome you guys. We'll hopefully be able to see you very soon. But thank you so much for paying attention. And we'll have all of this information